we'll get going. So those of you that don't know me, I'm Kathy Matson, the Director of Student Life here at Mount Wachusett. One of the advisors for the National Society of Leadership and Success chapter that we have here on campus. And then I'm going to let Jason introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Zaleski, the Dean of Students here at Mount Wachusett and co-advisor to the National Society of Leadership and Success here at Mount Wachusett. Kathy's going to talk a little bit about the history, but thank you for joining us. We are recording this session for those students who were nominated but who were unable to attend this afternoon. And I do not believe that you have received your official nomination email yet. Is that correct as of right now? That should be. Yep,
I haven't got one from the society, but I received one from you, Jason, and
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is the first time we actually did it this way. Kathy's brilliant idea, because what would happen is you'd get an official nomination form from NSLS in an email and also a paper copy, and you'd say, "What the heck is this? Right? Where is this real? Is this legitimate?" Even though it has our names on it. So what we thought we would do this year is sort of send out a pre-nomination email so that you would be aware of it. We could have this meeting and answer any questions that you would have. And when you receive that official nomination correspondence from NSLS, you'll know exactly what it is and be able to read through that with a different level of understanding. So thanks for being here. I just want to say congratulations. I'm very proud of the NSLS chapter that we have here at Mount Wachusett. A few years ago, pre-COVID, Mount Wachusett was actually named the online chapter of the year in the United States. So we're very proud of that, very proud of the work our students have been doing to really raise their leadership skills through this program. Yeah, so it's been a great program for us since 2013, right, Kathy? 2014? Yeah, right around that time. Kathy was the first. She's not just an advisor; she's also a member. Go ahead, Kathy.
Yeah, we brought it to campus. It was like December 2013, January 2014. I was actually the first inducted member of this chapter. I was a student back then. Doesn't seem like I might have been, but I was an old student. And so it has a special place, for me being part of NSLS, because I've been both a student and now an advisor. So a little bit about NSLS, which when you get their official information, I don't know if any of you have been to their website to look around yet, but they are a leadership society. So MWCC has 3 honor societies and 1 leadership society. So the difference between the leadership society and the honor societies is that if you're nominated for the leadership society and you join, there's a series of steps you need to take before you're inducted. Whereas the honor societies, once you've been invited, you've already accomplished what needs to be done to be inducted. So the leadership society is designed to help you build your leadership skills, which is why they have those steps for you to take. They're not that difficult. There's a series of, there's an orientation day, there's leadership training day. You listen to 3 different speakers, fill out some, like a questionnaire about those, and then you do what's called SNT, a Success Networking Team, which is a series of 3 workshops, or not workshops, but meetings that you have with a group of students that help you build your goals. Like you will build one goal and they'll help you figure out what steps to take to achieve those goals. And those goals can be anything you want. It can be something related to school, personal life. We've had a lot of people that do things related to, I want to exercise, or I want to get more organized, or, whatever your goal may be. But you want something that's achievable now. Sometimes you have a bigger goal that is, long-term, but then that group will help you find maybe a couple of steps to take to get you started towards that bigger goal. So you may set a short-term goal that's part of that larger goal. So that's the big difference between the Honor Society and the Leadership Society. The Leadership Society also helps you network with others. whether it's within Mount Wachusett or within, across the nation. During COVID, they started doing a lot of the success networking teams virtually, and they've continued to do that. So you don't have to meet with students at MWCC. You can meet with students from anywhere across the country. They have a Facebook page you can join that helps you to find those. Has anyone been to the website since you got that email from Jason? Okay, Ian. Okay, great, Samantha. I'm going to share my screen if I can get the right one here. Here we go. And once you become a member, this is what the page will look like. And I was just in conversation via email with our contact at NSLS. And if you scroll down, if I scroll down here, this is my dashboard. So once you get in, if you join, and you'll see you need to do orientation, you need to do leadership training day, your speaker broadcasts, and then your success networking teams, and then you go to induction. So you can see that I've done all three of those things. I also have the advanced leadership certification, and I still have to do the executive leadership certification. These are additional things. They do cost extra. These weren't available when I was a student, so I'm actually going through them now as an advisor so I can see what they're like. I just haven't had a whole lot of time to start on the executive. Hopefully this summer, that'll be my project. But one of the things they added just today is that at the national level, our contact, Erin Rogers is doing all of these steps virtually. So you can feel free to join Erin. You can also do these on your own. So you can go, this is on March 1st from 3 to 5 p.m. You can RSVP to join, and you can attend the orientation day, leadership training day. The nice thing is she's also combining this 3 speaker broadcasts with an SNT. So you're doing those simultaneously. And what we have found is that students kind of get hung up on the SNTs because you have to connect with others. You can't do that solely on your own. So I'm loving this whole concept of them doing it at the national level so that it's already set up. All you have to do is plug yourself in. If these dates and times don't work for you, I will tell you last spring, our chapter did actually what they called a Super Friday, and they went through everything in a day on Friday minus the SNTs, but then they helped the members get hooked up with SNT groups. So, you've got support if you join to help you get through all of these different things, and they don't take an extreme amount of time. You can get through each, she has 2 hours set up for each of these. It'll take that amount of time just because there's a group of people, but if you did it on your own, it wouldn't take you 2 hours. But you can do it any way you wish. So, Jason, is there anything you want to add before we have questions?
No, I just want to maybe summarize what Kathy has shared, and that is just some common questions that students have. The most common is this program for me, right? And the program is really designed to help you build on your leadership skills, to make those connections, and really participate in what is truly a national network of programming and events and speaker broadcasts that, quite honestly, Mount Wachusett and most colleges and universities could not afford to offer their students. So for, as an advisor of NSLS, I have had the privilege of hearing Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, I think Jill Biden speak. It's not always politicians. Sometimes it's entertainers or actors, and they're really focused on helping you identify who you are, the person that you're becoming inside and outside the classroom, and really work on those leadership skills. So in addition to Kathy and I, you actually have an NSLS advisor who you'd work closely with, and Kathy shared a little bit about that. And our students, I think, who have benefited from this program participate in our on-campus online meetings. They will be active participants in these workshops. Once you are inducted, you are a lifetime member. You can transition, and Kathy, I don't know if you touched on this, but I think this is an important part of it, that if you are thinking about transferring to a 4-year institution, there's a chance that that institution will have its own chapter and you become a member of that chapter and can get involved there. Kathy has done that. She has transferred to an institution for her advanced degree and participated in NSLS at that institution. We have an online chapter because we recognize that our students really appreciate that flexibility, the ability to be involved in an organization like this one, but not having necessarily the time to show up at a physical location or do physical in-person meetings. So campuses will have online or in-person chapters. We were one of the first to really get started with the online chapter back in 2014 and have found it to be really successful with our students' busy schedules. We have lots of students that want to get involved, but time is why they are unable to get involved. And this really can fit into your schedule in a way that I think will be beneficial to a lot of folks. It looks great on your resume. If you are inducted in the program early on in the spring, you will get some swag for graduation. If you are graduating this year or next year, students really love that piece of it as well. And there are lots of value adds to this program, whether it's scholarships or networking, jobs and opportunities. You should put this on your LinkedIn. You should put this on your resume. I think we have found our students have benefited pretty significantly from their membership. But it is not for everyone. And I think that's why we do this info session, is that if you are really busy, if you have a lot on your plate, you might want to think about this commitment. We've had students defer their nomination for a year. That's okay. You can do that. It's entirely up to you. But it is a truly beneficial program. If you're excited about it, I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Hang on a second. All right, I thought I was still muted. I didn't want to talk if I was muted. Anyways, yeah, and like Jason had said, yes, you can transfer your membership. So I actually went to 2 other institutions. The first one I went to did not have a chapter, but you can, if you go to an institution, they don't have a chapter, there's a national online chapter you can be participating in. But then when I went on for my graduate degree, that institution did have an online chapter. So I was then transferred to that chapter, and now I've been transferred back here. But you're always a member of the national chapter, and you always have access to these things. I had scrolled down. They've got lots of scholarships. About 2 years ago, one of our students had actually received one of their scholarships, one of our nursing students. There's you can apply for, they help you apply for jobs, work on your resume. They have discounts. These, I can tell you, like, I haven't looked into these. There are lots of different partner deals that you have. I know that they have, I think you can get a discount on like auto insurance, that type of stuff. But for me, that, like Jason said, those speakers, the national speakers that you're hearing are speakers that we could never bring to Mount Wachusett. So, and you have access, you don't have to just do the 3 speakers. You can listen to speakers anytime you want. If you're looking to get a little motivation, you can log in and click on any speaker you want. They're recorded. Sometimes you get to watch them live. But that's one of the huge benefits, in my estimation, that you have, you're getting this information and just wisdom from nationally known speakers that we would never be able to bring to Mount Wachusett. And you have that network that, you've always got the network, especially with their Facebook page. You can connect with people. We have students that, especially during COVID, really connected with others through the NSLS, the national Facebook page, and they're, to this day, they still stay in contact with them. They did SNTs with them, and they just found a lot of benefit from that. So we also have Justina Johnson, who just joined us. She was in class. She is actually our chapter's president right now. She's been, when did you join NSLS, Justina?
I want to say in 2020, maybe
Okay.
fall of 2020.
Okay, so Justina's been in for a while. She served as the treasurer, maybe VP, I think VP.
Vice
Yeah.
President.
Vice president last year, and then the president graduated, so she's the new president. So if those that join or become members of our chapter, if you have an interest in meeting, whether in person or on Zoom as MWCC students, Justina would be the person that you would really want to connect with to get those set up. She's been through everything, so she can walk you through a lot of it. So, anybody have any questions? Go ahead, Ian.
Hi everybody. Basically, I was curious about the different levels and costs and what those different tiers will bring for me for skills. What is involved? What do I have to do? And what is the main focus point? Besides, is it just for us individuals building our skills together as a team? So it's like a multiple question. Sorry.
Yeah, so your basic membership, I believe, is $95. I don't know off the top of my head what the executive and I forget what the other one, I always forget what the other one's called, advanced programs are. When you go and sign up, they give you the option to sign up at a discount for those two. You can always add them at a later date. And off the top of my head, I don't recall what those the prices for that, but it's a one-time fee. And then you're a member for life. And yes, it's both for your own leadership, you're building your own leadership skills, but you're also connecting with others. So it's building that network now so that when you've graduated, whether it's, from here and you're going into the workforce, or whether you're going to, further education and then you want to go into the workforce, you're starting to build that professional network now. And like I said, the ability to connect with others nationally is nice. So say you don't want to always live in New England, and you say, hey, I'd love to connect with people in, California, and that's where I'd like to live someday. It's a great way to start that networking process with other professionals.
Thank you.
Oren?
Yeah, sorry. Actually, to build off of the question of the one-time payment, if we can only afford the basic level, are we stuck at that level, or can we upgrade that later on if we need?
You can always upgrade it later on. Yeah.
Yeah, Oren, it's a great question, and Ian asked the same question, and I think the overwhelming majority of our students will become active NSLS members and will not move forward. The students who move forward are really excited to get to that next level, and it's not just about cost; it's really about time commitment. And I think it really is an individual preference. But I would say nationally, the overwhelming majority of folks go through that basic membership. And I don't say that as it less than. I think the folks that move on, it took Kathy a few years before she was ready to move on, and was in a different professional capacity at that point. And it really benefited her both professionally and educationally to take that next step. I think most students will go through the induction process and be very happy being a member at large at that level. And we are not doing this we know that there's a financial commitment, but we believe in the program. There are lots of other programs out there that are not affiliated with Mount Wachusett that charge students lots of money. And I don't think they get the same service or program or experience in return. So when we endorse and support that $95 fee for students, It's because we believe that there's value there for our students. And just so folks know, Kathy and I pay chapter dues for our institution as well. We pay, I think it's close to $1,400 to have a chapter that the college pays for, so that we can operate and run our chapter here. And we feel that there's tremendous value for our students, which is why we do it. And that's another reason why we sent out the pre-email from Kathy and I, because we know that students get a lot of emails with a lot of predatory opportunities that cost money. And we wanted you to know that this one is the only one that belongs to us in terms of a leadership society.
Ben?
So I just wanted to ask when we would be getting the code and how long do we have after getting the code to join the society and start doing what we need to do in order to stay a part of the society?
I think the code should be probably coming out this week, that invitation letter. And I know the deadline was sometime in March. I don't remember the exact date. And you can always get an extension on that too. If for some reason you say, oh, I can't do it right now. Like Jason said, you can defer. What'll happen is every semester that you're eligible, you will get the same invitation until you join. And Ian, you had a question?
Yes. I'm looking to join UMass Law. I was accepted in the fall, and I don't think they have a chapter. So would I open up a chapter, or I just do the national level? And secondly, I'll have a second question after this.
Yeah, so that'd be something that you could absolutely join the national online chapter, but it would be something you could also bring to the student life office there and see if they were interested in starting a chapter there. So
I think I had a second question, but Samantha Harris says she has a question, so I'll let her go first. I've already asked a few.
Okay, Samantha.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt anybody, so I figured just to put it through the chat. I had a couple questions, so I'm sorry if it's like annoying or bugging. So the $95 is just that's a one-time fee only. It's not something you have to do every year, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you said there is time commitment things. Like, what exactly does that entail? Does that mean we have stuff we have to do every week after we're formally a part of it? Like after March, when we do our deadlines and we're actually a member, is there stuff we have to do every so often to stay that way? Like what does that entail?
So in order to get to the induction stage, which means you are a fully inducted member and you get all the benefits, you need to complete those steps to induction, which is the orientation day, the leadership training day, the 3 speaker broadcasts, and the 3 SNT meetings. So you can do those however time works. We've had students that have registered and they weren't graduating this semester. So they said, oh, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to do this over the summer. And you can absolutely do that. There's no real deadline for you to finish. You can do it with your own time. So you can sign up and say, yeah, this is just way too much for me right now. And you can just do it if you're not taking classes in the summer. Some people want to just go right through it, especially if they're graduating and they want to be inducted before graduation, because then you get a welcome packet with a cord, so you get to wear that regalia to commencement, and it gets noted in the program that you're a member.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, Samantha, before you ask your next question, I forgot to mention that's a great point. All inducted members are called out in your commencement program. We consider induction leadership society a true honor. So you'll be recognized at commencement for your induction. Go ahead, Samantha.
So does that mean that after the induction that we use this as a tool to help ourselves grow, but that there's not really homework or steps after that? It's just more a tool and a support system afterwards to network build and grow from there?
Yes, that's correct. Unless you opted to go on to the other 2 levels. But if you choose just to do the basic level, and I agree with Jason said, basic level is, it's great to just do the basic level and that's sufficient. I'm doing the other two simply so I can have a better feeling for what it is. It's pretty much an advanced level of the basic. It's just more of the same, just taking it to a next level. So yeah, once you've gotten inducted, you can go to the website, you can use the resources there, you can meet with people. They can help you, building your resume. You can listen to as many speakers as you wish. I tend to be one that I was always very skeptical about speakers because, as a returning student, when I came back to the mountain in my 40s, I said, I've been there, done that. I've listened to a lot of speakers. When I started listening to these speakers, they're definitely a level up. And like I said, I tend to be very skeptical and like, yeah, what am I going to get out of this? I've gotten a lot out of the various speakers here. Go ahead, Ian.
So I was reading on the website, they have a national leadership accredited course that you would get credit towards your degree. I'm curious I'm looking to go into a master's at UMass Lowell after my bachelor's for the organizational leadership. And I'm curious, what would that class offer me that is either in addition to or different than that? Also, I've taken perspectives in leadership at the Mount Wachusett level and did well. I'm also part of the leadership in the TRIO program. And so I was curious, what would be the differences? What would be additional to what I've already learned in those programs?
So we don't currently have that course as part of our chapter. Not every chapter has it, so it's a whole accreditation process we would have to go through if we wanted to add that. So right now we don't have that option for you to take the course and get the credits for it.
Nor at the national level?
So you have to be affiliated with an institution in order to get the credit. The school has to be able to give you credit. So I don't think it would reside at the national level.
No, what happens, Ian, is that some schools will actually recognize that course in their degree curriculum. So if you're at a school that has an NSLS chapter that recognizes that course, when you finish it, because it's academically rigorous, that institution will give you those credits. So you have to be connected to an institution that approves it. I think we had one student do the course and get the credits, and I forget where she went, where she was affiliated, but I know we got that feedback and it's like taking a college course online, and you're just transferring those credits back to your institution, but it's all agreed upon in advance. It's an elective to your program. So it would really depend on where you attended as either an undergraduate or graduate student.
Okay.
And I know they're growing their agreements with colleges and universities across the country. That's a relatively new feature for them. I think it's only about a year or so old. They sent us as advisors information on it. That is really more applicable to a 4-year degree than it is to a 2-year degree. And for institutions that do have a leadership degree, I used to work at UVM. We had a degree in leadership and organizational leadership development. This would be the type of course that would fit into that type of 4-year curriculum.
Okay, thank you.
May I ask another question?
Absolutely.
I was just curious. It's my understanding we had to be nominated for this program. How did we all come about being nominated? Does every member of the college get nominated and just anyone who's interested goes, or is there a reason why we were nominated?
Jason, you want to answer that?
Sure. No, not everybody is nominated. We actually go through a selection process based on your time at Mount Wachusett and how you are doing in your courses. So while it is not an academic, it's a leadership society. Students have to be in good academic standing, progressing towards graduation. As a leader, we want you to model the way. And that way is performing inside and outside of the classroom. So we have probably close to 4,000 students at Mount Wachusett. We are only nominating a small percentage of those students for this particular honor. And then I think right now we have this will actually be in your official nomination letter from NSLS, but I think we have approximately in 8 years 1,400 inducted members, just over 1,400. So you can see that number is pretty small. So we don't want this to be an everyone type experience. And as you can see just from the questions here, we've got some real serious students here who are some are involved in the classroom, some are involved outside the classroom, some both. We really see this as and I have to say, the students that we work with that go through NSLS are really develop into tremendous leaders. It will help you as you move forward, whether it's career or transfer. Justina is here and has, been tremendously involved. This program in our last orientation, we had a younger student join NSLS, and she shared with the group, I wish we have that recording, that NSLS helped her find her voice. It is what gave her the confidence to actively pursue leadership opportunities. And she went from quiet in the background to an active student leader on campus. That's exactly what we're trying to accomplish in this program. Some of you already may be leaders in your family, your life, your work, your school. Others of you may not be. Wherever you are in that leadership journey, NSLS helps you identify those qualities inside you that are strengths, those that you can work on and should be working on as you continue to grow and learn. We're all students for life. I attend these workshops and get, like Kathy said, I get a lot out of them. I'm a TED Talk guy. I love TED Talks. These are like TED Talks on steroids. These are high level, like really powerful opportunities. And they're not just general. They're speaking. NSLS is hiring these folks to speak to college students, to future leaders. And so I really feel like when I attend these, that these speakers are actually talking to our students, not just filming themselves talking about a topic, but really focused on helping students, learn and grow and self-discover. A lot of self-discovery, like how someone got to where they are and the challenges and lessons that they've learned, and really trying to share that with younger folks. So yes, it is designed as an honor. And again, one of the hardest things to learn as a leader is how to say yes and no strategically, right? And that's why Kathy and I do these sessions, is that it is always an honor to be nominated, and it's okay to say no. That's a great lesson in life as someone who has a hard time saying no. If you say yes to everything, you will soon be doing everything. And you might get lost in that shuffle. So, really, go to the website, think about that content. And I know that I've talked to some of you already, and you really resonate with this topic and leadership development, and you're excited about it. That's exactly, if you feel excited by this, I would highly recommend that you go through the process. Angela.
Quick questions. First, we did want to have you
Angela, can you guys hear Angela?
No.
She's roboting out.
Angela, you're breaking up on us like a digital feedback. I'm not sure what the connection is, but maybe if you can chat your question, I don't know if you have the ability to do that, we could answer out loud your question. Just want to make sure your question gets heard.
While Angela's doing that, does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, there we go. Yes, so you can absolutely get Justina's contact info. I don't know if Justina wants to put that there, but you can also go, once you join NSLS, you will get an invitation to join NSLS on Involvement, and you will have access to Justina's info there as well as Jason and mine. So if you join there, and that's our internal page. Each of our student organizations have a page on Involvement, and that's a way where you can connect with the other members. So you're talking about the SNTs. So your SNT can be whatever you want it to be. You can connect with other people that are within the nursing program, and you can connect with people that aren't necessarily part of NSLS. This is something that NSLS started during COVID, before they actually started the Zoom options. They encourage students just to connect with family, people that they were quarantining with. So you have the option to build your SNT with people, with local family members, friends, or other students, even if they're not in NSLS. The intent of the SNT is for you to build a support system to help you design your own goal, and then help you attain that goal. Primarily, what the SNT is set up, you're going to meet 3 times over the course of 6 weeks. They recommend meeting every 2 weeks. So you're going to set up a goal the first time you meet. So for instance, I ran an SNT a year ago. That was part of the advanced leadership training. I had to actually facilitate an SNT. So my goal was, I was working on creating a leadership through change workshop. So that was my goal. So what happened is everybody in the SNT came up with ideas for me to do over the next 2 weeks before the next meeting, tangible ideas of what I needed to do to make that first step to that goal. And then at the next meeting, then they went around and they gave me additional ideas to get to the next level, and then to the final level to actually accomplish that goal. So your goal is whatever it may be. If it has something to do with your program, that's great. It doesn't have to. It can be a personal goal. We had somebody in that workshop. His goal was sometime in the next 5 years, he wanted to travel to Europe. Well, he wasn't going to reach that goal over the course of 6 weeks. So we helped him find a goal that was attainable during those 6 weeks. So the first thing was, he didn't even have a passport. So we helped him get to the point where he was going to apply for a passport and have a passport in hand. By the time we finished, his passport had already been processed and he was just waiting to receive it. So that was a goal. It was a small goal, but for him, he didn't even know where to begin. So, you develop those SNTs any way that works for you. All right. Any other questions? And you can always reach out to Jason or I or Justina if you have additional questions. Go ahead, Oren.
Yeah, I believe this has been mentioned, but for the actual induction process, do we have to attend on certain dates and times, or is that to an extent of how much are we available to do? Because I was looking at the times, and there's going to be some crossover where I'll be in class for some of those times.
Yeah, so those were set up just as a benefit. And again, they're not going to be able to meet everybody's needs that way. So if those times don't work for you, you can do it all entirely on your own, except for the SNTs. So if those times don't work for you, then it falls upon you to work on setting up your own SNTs. You can do the training day, the orientation, and the 3 speaker broadcasts entirely on your own. And then that's where, if you can't attend those, that's where you can reach out to Justina, who will, hopefully be able to help you connect with others for those SNTs. That answer your question, Oren?
Yep.
Okay, Ben?
So if I'm understanding correctly, the three meetings that you showed us on the website, those count as our quote unquote dues that would get us into the fully able to be inducted.
Yeah, those, you can do all of the steps by attending those meetings to be fully inducted. And again,
Awesome.
if they don't work for you, then you work out your own time. You know, I would highly recommend though, if the SNT, the speaker broadcast SNT dates work, definitely do those because SNTs is literally the hardest thing. We have many students that get to the SNTs and then drop the ball because they have to reach out to others and work with others. And that's where, you know, you've got scheduling conflicts and things get in the way. So that's always the biggest hurdle is to get through those SNTs.
Awesome. Yeah, all three of those are available for me. So I'm definitely putting them on my calendar as soon as I can find out.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's March 1st, 7th, and 21st. So I'll put those in my thing now.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? No? Okay. Like I said, you know, you'll be getting that invitation probably this week. And you know, you can look at that one and you can, they also have, I want to say they have like a money back guarantee, I think within the first 30 days. So if you signed up and started and went, now this isn't for me, I'm pretty sure they have a money back guarantee. But you know, I definitely have found it helpful. As I've gotten busier in my job, I don't have as much time to go in and look at the speaker broadcasts, but the ones that I have watched are definitely very intriguing. So, all right. I will let everybody have the rest of their, let's see, 20 some odd minutes left. You can enjoy lunch or whatever it was you were going to do.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice meeting
Have a good day.
everybody.
Yep.
Likewise.